Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Vandalia By The Way. My name is Rich Hopkins. I'm the Communications Manager for the city. And on today's program, we'll give you the latest on some economic development news, new jobs coming into town. We'll also get a close-up look at Vandalia's newest police cruisers. It's a new design and we think you're going to like what it looks like. We're also going to check in with our Parks and Recreation Department and find out how the city is saving money replacing some of its old and worn out signs. But our first stop today is here at the corner of Attica and Buttercup. As you can see behind me, a massive road reconstruction project is underway. This is a project that's going to literally rebuild this street from the bottom up.
As summer turns to fall, work crews are busy on Gabriel and Buttercup Avenues, replacing utilities and readying this stretch of road for a complete remake. Public Works Manager Rob Cron says the extent of work being done here is all-encompassing.
The total project consists of replacing the water main down through here, where we've had a series of water main breaks over the years. So we replaced the old cast iron pipe with new ductile iron pipe. All the water main has been installed now. As you can see, we're doing the storm sewer right now. Once all the pipe and utilities are in the ground, we'll be tearing the street base and the asphalt out and replacing all that. It'll be all brand new at that time too.
On the day of our visit, the focus was on storm sewer drain pipe replacement.
We're replacing some old corrugated metal pipe that have been in the ground for probably 50, 60 years. The bottom is rusted out, so we're replacing it with the new plastic pipe.
The project comes with a price tag of more than $300,000, but no homeowners will be assessed for the project. Homeowners also appreciate the fact that even with the road under construction, crews are making every effort to allow residents access to their homes at all times.
We have been allowing residents to their homes either from one end or the other of the project. We are asking that other traffic not use this as a cut through and avoid this area if at all possible.
The timeline for this project has crews wrapping up the last of the paving by mid to late October. That October timeframe is the same timeline Vandalia city leaders are anticipating for word on a potential expansion at one of the city's larger employers. Assistant City Manager Greg Shackelford says the Vandalia location of a pharmaceutical firm is on the short list of options for an expansion.
Aptalis, formerly known as Jurand, was purchased by a Canadian company a little over a year ago called Axcan. And they've made some decisions that they want to improve and try to look at doing some research and development on another product line, which is in the pharmaceutical area, in the gastrointestinal to be exact. And they're in a process right now of trying to win a 4-phase project that would be probably around $20 million total.
The expansion could have up to 4 phases when completed and could bring as many as 75 new jobs to the city.
You're probably talking in the neighborhood of maybe $50,000 to $75,000 positions. There should be a lot of engineering opportunities, as well as, I would say, pharma technicians and those sort of opportunities that are a little bit maybe more along the assembly, light industrial, that kind of thing.
Shackelford says a wide range of job skills will be needed by applicants looking to grab one of the new positions.
From what I understand, they were about 35 employees back in the 80s, and it's grown up now over 180 employees that work over there now. So could give us an opportunity to be over 200 in the near future.
Expansion is also on the mind of one of Vandalia's newest firms. All Service Plastic Molding opened its doors on a new facility in mid-July and is already considering an expansion.
They're moving in from Harrison Township, and they have a small location in Dayton. They've already started moving in equipment from those sites, as well as bringing in new equipment. They have another facility that's in Fairborn, Ohio, and they're looking at potentially bringing that into Vandalia as well.
That expansion is far from a done deal as company leaders decide what's best in the long term for their line of business. But Shackelford says if the decision is made to bring that additional work to Vandalia, it will bring a good number of jobs with it.
This could be an opportunity to bring an additional, on top of what we expect to be close to 275 employees, that would bring an additional approximately 60 So it's very, very exciting for us.
In Vandalia's Stone Quarry Crossings, the future home of a White Castle food processing plant remains untouched, several weeks after the ceremonial groundbreaking took place. Shackelford says there's nothing to worry about with the delay, as company officials are just working through some of the administrative procedures before getting down to the task of moving some heavy dirt.
They decided to structure that project using the Dayton Port Authority, which gave them some sales tax benefits that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So it pushed the project back a little bit, but it looks like we should be closing on that land probably in the next month, and we're hoping that they start moving the earth. They really start doing the development of the lot in late October, maybe early November.
Adding jobs to the local economy has been a goal of Shackelford throughout his tenure with the city, and he says looking back on the last 12 months, all signs seem to point to the notion that the city is moving in the right direction.
If you consider that we've had somewhere between 6 or 7 projects that have committed at some point and are under or completed in some phase of construction, I think we're in the neighborhood of about an additional, I want to say 700 employees, which is very, very exciting for the city.
From signs on the economy to signs in general, Vandalia's Parks and Recreation Department is in the process of installing some new signage at some city locations. Parks and Recreation Director Steve Clark says the best thing about these all-weather signs might just be their price tag.
We applied for and received a grant with the Montgomery County Solid Waste District for their recycling incentive grant. So we applied and received 70% of the cost of the new recycled plastic signs were covered through this grant.
The primary purpose of applying for the grant was to replace the signage at Vandalia's Poplar Hill Cemetery.
The signs that were there were wood and aged and showing their age, and the posts were rotten. So we're having some major issues. So again, going to the 100% recycled plastic will give us a long life for those signs.
With the grant, Clark was able to purchase new signs for some playground equipment and to replace an aging metal sign on the road leading back to the Parks and Recreation garage.
We ended up with 8 signs and about 12 recycled plastic posts in this deal, and so the total cost was about $4,800, of which the county's grant covered about $3,400 of it. So the city spent about $1,400 and got 8 signs and 12 posts.
From new signs to new police cruisers, the city of Vandalia is now using a new vehicle model for its fleet of cruisers. After many years of the Crown Victoria, the Division of Police got word that the Ford Motor Company was discontinuing production of that vehicle, meaning a change was in order. In the end, the department chose the 2013 Ford Police Interceptor.
It looks very similar to the Taurus, and it is built on the Ford Taurus platform, but Ford says it is a purpose-built vehicle that only government entities can purchase the Police Interceptor.
Officer Don Evers says even though the car looks like a factory model Taurus on the outside, there are plenty of big differences once you get under the hood.
There are a number of heavy-duty components which come in the police package. The suspension, wheels, engine, transmission, all geared toward police purpose or police duty vehicle.
Fitting all of the necessary equipment officers use into the new cruiser was a bit of a challenge, as the new model is slightly smaller than that old Crown Vic. One unexpected change moving to the new model has to do with the car's siren and where or where not to place it.
We knew we were going to need new push bars because the old push bars would not transfer over, and we were able to find a manufacturer who incorporated the siren drivers actually in the push bars, which took care of both of our needs, not blocking the coolers and a new push bar for the car.
Evers says the new model will take some officers a little getting used to, but he says in the end, it's the best model available for what his officers need.
I like the performance and handling. The car is a little bit smaller. It has a 6-cylinder engine versus the V8 that the Crown Vic had, but this engine has more horsepower. Ford says at least 20% better fuel economy, and it's all-wheel drive.
The first new vehicle went out on the road in late September. 3 more will be on the road before the end of the year. Our last stop today is the Vandalia Division of Fire, where crews are readying for the annual open house event. Fire Chief Chad Follick says this year's event will have a little something for everybody.
Should be plenty of things to do. We have all kinds of giveaways. We're going to have bouncy houses for the kids, ice cream, pizza, like we normally do. We are going to have a limited number of bike helmets to give away. We've got some gracious donations from local businesses to provide the bike helmets again this year. We also are going to have some donation of ice cream from a local vendor that'll be here. Some demonstrations, question and answers.
The open house corresponds with October being National Fire Safety Month. This year, the theme of the event is encouraging families to practice having 2 ways out of every room in the house.
Have 2 ways out, which basically means to have some planning for your house, to have some escape planning, know 2 ways out of every part of your house. If you have a bedroom on the first floor, knowing that you can go down the hallway and get out the primary way through the front door, or there's a window, and actually working with your kids to do those windows. We want you to have a meeting place. For ours, it happens to be the street sign in the corner there, right next to the fire hydrant. That way we know when we get there that someone can give us the all clear that everybody's out of the house, and we don't have to put resources on making rescues or searching a building, and take up the extra time of looking for someone when there's nobody there.
Another theme for this year's open house will be encouraging the use of smoke detectors.
We've been in about a 5-year battle with bringing awareness to smoke detector awareness, and it started in 2007 after we had a rash of fires, and we instituted a smoke detector inspection giveaway program where we actually, after a fire in a neighborhood, will deploy fire personnel in that neighborhood to walk the neighborhood, usually hitting about 50 to 75 homes in the neighborhood, talking to them about the fire, answering questions they may have, talk to them about fire safety. Usually we try to tailor our message around kind of the cause of the fire that happened in their neighborhood, so that we can prevent those, but we'll answer any general question. But we also take the time to check a smoke detector in the home. And what we were finding in those early years is we were finding 70 to or 50 to 60% of those homes with non-operational smoke detectors.
Finally, you'll notice a slight change in the uniform of the day for fire crews at the open house. They'll all be wearing the color pink. It's a show of support and awareness for the fight against breast cancer.
It started about 2 years ago. The guys, we purchased t-shirts for duty wear for October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We have several breast cancer survivors we have one on the department, and we have several guys in the department with breast cancer survivors in their family. And then we have city employees that are either survivors or currently battling breast cancer. So we thought it was necessary for us to bring some awareness to that and celebrate that awareness and the fight.
Now, the open house begins at noon on Sunday, October the 7th. But if you're coming, you're being advised to get here early. With a limited supply of bicycle helmets in the giveaway, the earlier you're here, the better your chance to get one. And those helmets will be professionally fitted by fire personnel on staff. Of course, the other good thing is the earlier you get here, the hotter the pizza is going to be. That's going to do it for this edition of Vandalia By The Way. I'm Rich Hopkins. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.